welcome back to Helen's Homemade Kitchen. Today we're going to be making some banana bread. Now I had a few requests to make my ginger cookies and a few other things, but my bananas are starting at the perfect amount of brown, so I want to make that today, and hopefully I will get to making other things soon. Gotcha. So today what we're going to do is we have to you have to have two bowls. I have a large bowl and a small bowl. If you have two of the same size bowls, that's fine. You just want to have one that's a substantial amount because it'll be holding everything. And then you also want a loaf pan, or you can also use a muffin tin if that's what you have. So I have already buttered it inside, greased it, and it'll be ready to go. I also have preheated my oven to 350 degrees. So that's all prepped, ready for the rest of this. Okay, so first, what we need to do is we need to mix the dry ingredients, and we'll mix that in the small bowl. So in the small bowl, we have flour, we have cocoa, we have a half a teaspoon of salt, we have a teaspoon of baking soda. Whisk that together. So mix that all together. Now the reason to whisk it together is so that we have them all incorporated together. It'll be a lot easier when we're mixing everything because we just kind of want to fold it once we get to that part. Plus it aerates it a bit. Much like sifting, that's what you would want to do. You want to let some air in so you don't get it doesn't get too compact and clumpy. Next, we're going to do the wet ingredients. So now we're gonna add our bananas. Now, as you can see, my bananas are nice and brown. We're going to peel them and then put them in and mash them up. Bananas, you want to use a fork. Might be easier than using the whisk, or you can use the spatula that you're going to use later to fold your mixture together. Now the reason why you want your bananas to be nice and brown is because when bananas start to get ripe, they release a lot of natural sugar. Instead of using a ton of artificial white or brown sugar, you can use bananas. I mean, you can also do that with applesauce. Applesauce has its own natural sugar. A lot of fruits do. And it's a lot better for you to do that than to use too much artificial sugar, but to each their own, right? We want to mix. We have a stick or a half cup of butter. You can also use any type of fat that you have, like oil, canola oil, something neutral, or you can use coconut oil. You can do half and half. I think the butter gives it some richness that you really don't get with a lot of other things. Then you want to mix in your brown sugar. 4 cups of brown sugar. And I wanted to speak about the brown sugar for just a second. I just wanted to give you a quick tip on how to store your brown sugar. Now I keep a marshmallow in mine. It just keeps it from getting hard. You ever have brown sugar, and if it's not in a completely vacuum sealed container, after you open it, it starts getting hard very quickly. What you want to do is, what you can do as a quick tip is put a marshmallow in there, and that will keep it nice and soft all the time. All right, and then the next thing you want to add is your egg. We're going to break that up, mix that together, because we don't want, and make sure your butter is, your melted butter is cooled down, because you don't really want scrambled eggs inside your food, right? So we're going to do that, and then we have our vanilla, teaspoon of vanilla. So mix that all together, mix. Now that that's all mixed up, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna fold. And I say fold because we don't want to overmix our dry ingredients, much like muffins. This is called the muffin method. We don't want to overmix it and create too much gluten, because then it's not nice and fluffy. It'll be very dense, and you don't want that. So we're going to add our dry ingredients, our flour, cocoa mixture. Okay, and now we're folding it on that. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to add a cup of chocolate chips. You can also add nuts if you want. At this point, it's much all your add-ons that you can think of. Okay, stir that together very lightly. Okay, and now you want to put it in your pan. See how beautiful that is? Now, like I said, if you do not have a loaf pan, not everybody does, you can always use a muffin tin cupcake, lined or not lined. If you don't line it, be sure to grease or butter the outside. Okay. Now that that's nice and done, we're gonna put this in the oven for 50 to 65 minutes. We're gonna test it with a toothpick, or you can just give it the jiggle test, and that's it. Oh, I forgot the best part. What's on here? If you have some extra chocolate chips, you could sprinkle some on the top. Opportunity for more chocolate is always a good idea. Okay. And that's it. And so after 50 minutes has passed, and I was able to cool the banana bread for about 20 to 30 minutes. It's still very warm, so if you like to eat it warm like me, that's perfectly fine. Just in case there are any sides that might be sticking, mine's alright, but if you are, run a knife along the outside and cut right in. And look at that. Deliciousness. Yum. Enjoy.